So it's a beautiful February day, a little on the cold side, but breathtaking, nice and bright, lovely covering of snow, about -4, so needed to wrap up warm today, hence the Deer Hunter Mouflon. But we're just here having a look around the woodland at Wolsey Park. Now, there's plenty of feeders out that squirrels have been feeding from, so there's a carpet of grey squirrels just about everywhere here that the numbers need keeping down. We've also been having a good look round. There have been quite a few pigeons roosting here. Now, we're not looking for pigeons today, we'll come back for those another time, set up at the base of a tree or a group of trees where they normally roost and take them out then. But this really is a perfect opportunity for me to bring out the Air Arms Ultimate Sporter S510. This is the FAC, the high-powered version in rifle format. There are 3 different lengths. There's the XS, which is a longer, higher capacity rifle. This, the rifle itself, and then a carbine version. This is in 177, which I quite prefer for squirrel shooting. Typically, if I'm shooting sub 12 foot-pounds, I'll shoot a 177, and then if I'm shooting FAC, I tend to shoot a 2.2. But when you're shooting squirrels over long distances, you don't need that knockdown power of a 2.2, and I prefer to have a flatter trajectory with the 177 that helps me thread my way through twigs and branches that can get in the way. Now, this is a great package. It is one of my favourite rifles. It's got around 30 shots in 177 at 20 foot-pounds. It does have an adjustable power setting here, but I tend to leave it on full power as I do have sub 12 foot-pound rifles back in the armoury if I want to use those. The great thing about the Air Arms Ultimate Sporter is its stock. It's perfectly adjustable in many different planes, so no matter what your build, your size, you can customize the fit to suit you. It also allows a huge number of different scope combinations because you can raise the cheek piece at the back and alter it and angle it to suit a much higher mount. Today I'm using a Hawke Air Max 4-16x50. This has an AMX reticle which has lots of different aim points. Maybe a little bit busy for me. I like to keep things simple. But when you are shooting over distances, longer distances, particularly with an air gun, always handy to know what those aim points are and be able to have reference points within the scope. If you do like to adjust, it has exposed target turrets. They are resettable, re-zeroable, but they're easy to move on the fly, and there is a great locking mechanism on the top there. It's got a stepless rheostat adjustment on the illuminated reticle, which is etched into the glass inside, so it's nice and stable. It's a 30mm monotube construction, nice and strong, just like all of the other models in the Hawke range. And I think it's a great package, or perfectly suited to this rifle. It's threaded front and back for accessories such as a sunshade or for flip-up scope mounts. So overall, I think for the type of rifle, which is a precision long-range hunting rifle, air rifle, then that's the ideal scope for the package. As I say, we're walking around today, just seeing what's about. Hopefully we're going to shoot some squirrels off a few feeders, but just enjoy another stunningly beautiful day in the countryside. But it's time to get started. So sometimes when you're out stalking, the best thing to do is actually sit still. Of course, you don't cover as much ground, but you do give the ground in front of you time to settle down. Now, out here there's a few feeders. Steve's been out, filled them up, scattered some grain around, so they should pull a few squirrels in. But you know, it's really cold out there, -4, -5, I know where I'd be. So while there's a little bit of a break in proceedings, we can have a closer look at the Ultimate Sporter. Now, I mentioned the stock before. Not only has it got great planes of adjustment, both the butt pad and the cheek piece can be altered and adjusted on various different planes to fit you, but there's also great features to it, like stippling on the stock, the grip itself, and on the fore end. There's an accessory rail which is built into the fore end as well. Now you can put a bipod on that. I tend to fit a sling stud because I shoot off sticks quite a lot. And there's also a sling stud in the back of the stock as well. It's also quite a pretty looking stock. That grey and brown laminate is pretty attractive. It's also very, very bust, so it's not going to pick up as much knocks, wear and tear as an oil finished walnut stock. So it's good functionality, nice and ambidextrous. You can shoot left or right handed with it as well without too many adjustments. The action is the classic Air Arms S510 side lever action. It's very, very fast cycling. This lever on the side here allows you to cycle even if you've got gloved hands, even if it's cold, which on a day like today is absolutely perfect. The magazine's a 10-shot rotary magazine, self-indexing. Air Arms is famous for, almost bomb-proof. I've never had any trouble with the Air Arms rotary magazine, and it is pretty solid. It has an 11mm dovetail mount, which can fit pretty much every scope. I have reach forward mounts here. I'm from Hawke because this scope is a little bit longer, and I do like to have that support on the front end. Forward of the action, we have the barrel. They're all Lothar Walther match grade barrels on all Air Arms rifles. This one's shrouded. Not only does that provide some sound moderation, but it's also quite aesthetically pleasing. It gives a much more rugged and robust look to the front end. Towards the end of that, there's a silencer, Air Arms moderator fitted, which really does cut down the amount of audible noise. Very important when you're shooting a high power air rifle, because there's a lot more volume of air that's going through the barrel and expelling at the other end. Just beneath that, Air Arms standard quick fill adapter, which should be pretty familiar, and it has a dust cap on the end. So all beautifully finished, all beautifully blued on the cylinder, and nice satin finish on the rest of the action. So yeah, great package, great performance and great looking. Now all we need is some squirrels. So although the Air Arms S510 Ultimate Sporter is a full-size sporting rifle, it's still quite lightweight, compact and manoeuvrable. Weighs in around 4 kilos, so 4 3/4 kilos by the time you've added on the Hawke scope. 1.15 m in length means it's not too long that makes it unwieldy or front heavy, which is great for elevated shots, shots up into the trees, or unsupported shots. Now I tend to use sticks, but there are times where you just need to make that shot. You need to make it quickly, particularly when you're shooting at squirrels or pigeons in the trees, and that's where a rifle with this sort of compact dimensions really comes into its own. And because it's got a sling on it, it's pretty comfortable for you to carry around all day without fatigue.